What's going on, world? Brian Wright here, and you're now tuned into the Brian Wright Radio Show, where we offer value in the form of content that'll hopefully help you change your life and make you want to go out there and serve the world and leave it a better place than you found it. To those people, I just want to say thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me. So for that, I say thank you. Today's topic is going to be life is a marathon and not a sprint. Life is a marathon and not a sprint. We live in a world today where things move very fast. You can order Amazon, DoorDash, Uber Eats. You can order stuff from the store and stuff from the grocery store with Instacart, and you can get things instantly. And I feel like those things are very valuable, because I use a lot of those things also. But at the same time, they don't help us when it comes to looking at life, because I think that we are mixing these things up too with the way things are supposed to go in our lives. You see, when it comes to life, it don't matter how fast you run, it don't matter how much you do, you still gonna have to put in the work. You still gonna have to dedicate that time. You still gonna have to learn about the craft. You still gonna have to learn how to master the craft. You still gonna have to learn how to market what you're doing. You still gotta put out content. There is never a time where you're just gonna run fast to a destination and get there and it's just gonna be good. It just doesn't exist. You know, we got to understand that what is a marathon? A marathon is, not too many people can do a marathon. I mean, I haven't met too many people that have done a marathon, honestly, in my own personal life. But I'm pretty sure there's a couple of people that have done it. I'm not saying that people don't do it often, but you don't run into somebody every day that's ran a marathon. First of all, people don't even like running like that. I used to be in the army 8 years, and some days I used to like running, but most days I couldn't stand it. So, and that was about 4 miles. So I can only imagine. I don't even know how many miles a marathon is, but when you find out, I guarantee it's going to be a lot. But with that being said, what do you got to do during a marathon? You got to learn how to pace yourself. You got to learn how to train up to it. You got to learn how to, how your body works, the hydration level that you need to be at, because you can't just go into a marathon and just think you about to run faster than everybody and then get past everybody and then you just going to win. No, what are you going to do? You're going to burn yourself out. And that's why majority of people give up on what they do now, because they burn themselves out. They start a YouTube channel, they start a business, they start a new endeavor, and guess what they do? They look for instant gratification. They think, hey, I got the most money, so I'm gonna spend the most money, and I got the most this, and I'm gonna spend the most this, and they didn't get no results, and they get mad. But what they don't understand is it's a process and it's a marathon. You might invest $5,000 in your business. I've done this before. I invested $4,000 in something, and it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. It's called business. I thought, hey, I'm putting $4,000 in this. That means I'm doing better than the average person. Nope. Takes more strategy. Nope. Just because you got the most money, that don't mean nothing. Am I saying that it can't help you? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it don't mean nothing, because you know why? Because you're gonna have to go through the trial and error process. I talk about this all the time. And in order to be able to deal with the trial and error process, in order to be able to deal with the downs, you have to realize that this is a marathon. That's what you have to realize, that, yo, this is a race, and this is what the finish line is, your goal. But just know, in order to get to that goal, especially if it's a big goal, and if it's not a big goal, then you need to get off my channel, because that's how I want people to, to go about it. They got to have big goals. They got to have goals where people are like, man, you crazy for thinking that. Those are the people that I want following this channel. And just know, en route to that big goal that you're going, it's gonna be times where you feel like you about to burn out. But guess what you gotta do? Towards the end, when you're getting closer, you know what they say? They say failure trips people right before they about to get to success. Right before they get to success, failure trips people. That's crazy when you think about it, because we know so many people like that. They get tripped up. They in the race, then they out of it. They doing it 1 minute, then they not doing it again. They're not ready to run the race. They're not pacing themselves. They're looking to win the race in, 4 miles, but no, it's not like that. It's never going to be like that. That's not the way that life is designed. I need you guys to start understanding life. And as soon as we start understanding life, that's when we can, align ourselves with it. You don't know nobody, just like I don't know nobody who didn't go the extra mile in order to get what they got. You got to train more. You got to prepare more. You got to strategize more. You might have to stay up late a lot more. You might have to do a lot more than the average person, because anybody ever tell you that being successful is easy, or you can make this kind of money easily, or you could do this easily, you need to get away from them. I like when people are around me and they like, hey man, you can make a lot of money in this, but guess what? You gonna grind. It's gonna be a process. You gonna have to go through this. You gonna have to go through that. I got a mentor in music, and I go to him and I'm like, hey man, sometimes I feel like this and sometimes I feel like that. He like, nah, man, you right where you need to be. Just keep doing what you doing. Keep running your race. Don't give up now. You done came too far now. You've been running this race for how long? It's crazy. People will run the race and they'll be running it for years and then they'll just give up. And I feel like they give up because honestly, they don't really have a target to hit. Most people in my field, I feel like, they don't think if they're not on the main screen, then they're not anything. But it's different ways that you can make money in music. You can put together your own shows. You could become your own superstar. You ain't got to be on top of the top and you ain't got to perform at the Super Bowl to make a living off of music. And it's the same thing in business. What is your goal? And then you reach that goal. And then next thing you know, then if you want to, you can set even higher goals. But the problem is most people ain't got no goals. And you know what's crazy? I'm going to be honest with you. Most people ain't even running in a marathon, let alone a sprint. Most people are just jogging in place. That's all they doing. They just jogging in place because you know why? They don't have no finish line. A lot of people that we know don't have a finish line, not even a starting point. But if you give them a starting point, guess what? They won't they won't run the necessary steps in order to get there. They'll try to find a car. They'll try to find a go-kart. They'll try to find a buggy. They'll try to find a hoverboard. They'll try to find everything that can make it smooth sailing besides hitting that pavement. I hit the Stairmaster all the time. Well, not all the time. I try to do it 3 days a week. But one time I walked to Walmart. I was talking to my friend. I told him I wanted some hot Cheetos and my car was in the shop. He said, well, walk to the store. And I thought to myself, I said, man, I walk on the Stairmaster all the time. So this shouldn't be hard to walk outside. Next thing you know, I start walking outside and I start getting tired. I'm like, man, what the world? I walk on the Stairmaster all the time. It's not the same. Next day I woke up, my legs was hurting, my feet was hurting, and I was hurting, but it felt good though. It felt phenomenal. I need to actually do that walk again when I'm not being lazy, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as getting out there. If I would have got on a hoverboard and stuff like that, I would have got there quicker, or a scooter or something like that. I would have got there quicker, but guess what? The workout wouldn't have been there, you know? So I'm trying to tell you guys, you got to beat up the pavement. There's no way around the pavement. You got to take one foot in front of the other and you got to just run. That's what you have to do. And when you sweating and when you tired and when you like, I feel like giving up on this thing because it doesn't seem like I'm getting closer to the finish line, quitting ain't going to help you. What's going to help you? We used to take a PT test in the military. And guess what? You could stop a little bit, but as long as you kept going forward, hopefully you would pass your PT test. If you kept going forward, then you're more likely to pass it. The person that stopped, once the person stopped, we already knew, oh yeah, it's game time for them. They about to fail. But that's what's going to happen if you stop. In this marathon, you're going to fail. Instead of just pacing yourself. And some people used to just slow down, but guess what they would do? They would keep one foot going in front of the other. And they would say, you know what? No matter what, it's mind over matter. Mind over matter. And I'm going to finish this PT test. And I'm going to, if I don't get the highest score, at least I pass. So nobody will bother me. And that's how you got to look at it. You got to run this race on your own. Can't nobody else run this race for you. And you got to pace yourself. So with that being said, you already know. Look in the mirror. and say, you know what? I'm going to run my race. I'm going to set my finish line, and I'm going to know that it's going to be a marathon that I'm going to run. And I know that it's going to be hard. And I know that I'm going to be sweating. I know that I'm going to be tired. I might have to stay up late. I might have to sacrifice more money. I might have to sacrifice time. But you know what? Nothing matters more than getting to that destination. And I'm just going to keep one foot going in front of the other. So you already know what it is. Get in the race. Know that it's going to be a marathon, and never stop running. You already know the motto. No distraction until riches. Let's level up.